Yeah, so let's discuss governance. People usually think about blockchain as a purely monetary technology. It deals with money only. Yeah, so I will explain why it is the case, and I will also discuss some other application for blockchain technology, which is governance. And I will briefly discuss what governance is actually. So actually, at the moment, we don't have that many successful use cases for blockchain, if you look closely. What we have is basically value transfer. For example, USDT, you can transfer dollars to some other person using blockchain technology. Also, we have a very successful use case of Bitcoin, which serves as store of value, similar to gold. It's like digital gold. And it is a really successful case. And we have a more like controversial case, which is asset issuance and trading, which is also pretty big, but now it's mostly focusing around meme coins and around speculation. And I don't know whether it's good or bad. I think it's pretty bad, actually. So you have 3 use cases for blockchain. That's it. You don't have anything else at the moment, which is really like gaining traction, you know. So you have some attempts to do something else, but we have only 3 big things as of now. And as you can see, it's all about money here, you know. So those applications are monetary. They deal with money, one way or another. Why is it so, actually? You know, if you look at the structure and the nature of digital money, you will understand that blockchain is a perfect fit for them. Because what is a digital money system? It's a ledger which stores account balances, you know, and everybody has to be sure that a certain account has such and such account balance. And those ledgers are not really big, you know, they're like pretty small, you know, it's just about maybe even if it's a simple monetary system, you deal usually with just one number in each account. And blockchain can handle that easily. Because blockchain technology is exactly about that. It's about global consensus, when all participants can see balances of all accounts and they agree on that. So this is exactly what digital money does. So blockchain and money are a perfect fit. Some other technologies, for example, if you want to do decentralized file sharing, blockchain is not a good fit, unfortunately, because you would need to replicate all those files over all those nodes. So there is a lot of redundancy in this. So for certain things, blockchain is good. For some other things, it's not so good. But for monetary applications, it's pretty good. That's why we have so many monetary applications, and actually all successful applications of blockchain technology are monetary at the moment. But what are some maybe non-monetary applications, or applications that are not so directly related to finance, that can benefit from running on blockchains? And there is a huge application which I think is even more important than money, although money is very important, but there are some things that actually are above money. And this is governance. This is how we make collective decisions. Governance is collective decision-making process, how we make decisions as a society, as a group of people, as a country, as a group of people, you know, in different forms. And it's also about consensus, actually, yeah, because everybody has to make a decision together. Everybody has to see the decision. Everybody has to be confident that the decision won't be reversed or somehow tampered with. And this is exactly what blockchain can bring, can actually help with. So, as you know, there is like a lot of attempts to do DAOs on blockchain. They're not really big DAOs yet. And there is a lot of problems with those DAOs, which we are trying to solve, actually. But what we can see here is an application of blockchain technology which actually might make sense beyond those applications that we already have. And in governance, in collective decision-making, we have some approaches which are successful, but we didn't have technology to implement them yet. For example, direct democracy. It's a very nice concept when everybody participates in governance, in decision-making. You don't have like some people who make decisions, because everybody can participate. But it's very hard to scale it, you know, because in some smaller countries like Switzerland, for example, there is like direct democracy. It's not everything is governed through direct democracy, but a lot of decision making is happening through direct democracy, where all Swiss citizens vote for something. It really works for Switzerland because it's a pretty successful country. And you might say that it's a very small country, so probably it won't work at scale, but that's where blockchain can help, because actually blockchain technology is already good enough to help implement this approach, because it provides transparency, it provides immutability. So if there is some decision that is like made collectively, you can just say that it didn't happen, you know, because blockchain provides immutability and it has the right features to be a good technology for collective decision making. And in my opinion, direct democracy is a great approach, which we couldn't use because we didn't have the technology. But now we have blockchains, and it's a game changer. And actually, if we have this approach, using blockchain technology and direct democracy, if we combine them, we can also improve monetary applications. We can, I think, create better money. So how do we actually issue money, you know? So there is probably, there had been only one way to issue money before Bitcoin. It's a centralized way. When you have a central bank which issues money as they see fit, you know, actually. So, and there is some problems with that. As you probably know, in many countries, it's not optimal, this process of money issuance. You have inflation, you have different things. When Bitcoin came to the scene, we understood that there is another way to issue money, algorithmic. Basically, you have an algorithm which issues money according to some principle, which cannot be changed. But this is not all. You know, there is another way to do that. It's a decentralized issuance process, basically decentralized central bank, when a community or like a society decides altogether how much money should be issued, what it should be spent on, and basically this is some kind of combination of decentralized governance approach and central bank approach, when central bank just issues money. It hasn't been tried before, and I think we won't see those things actually being very big in the near future, but it may be the future, maybe like in a couple decades. But somebody has to try to do that already right now, and this is what we are doing actually with our power protocol. Yes. So how it works basically? What is like power protocol, which you can find at power.tech. It's like a DAO ecosystem where we have a main DAO, which is called mother DAO, and it has, what is a DAO, by the way? It's like just a community of people who vote using blockchain. That's it. And you have the main DAO, which is called mother DAO, which issues that monetary asset. It's called power in our case. And there is child DAOs. There is smaller communities who get the power asset and they use it to basically do something. For example, some power tokens are issued, they are sent to some DAO, to some child DAO, which is focusing on a specific goal. For example, to run a trading fund, which basically makes money, and with those profits, it buys power token off of the market and increases its price through this. So there is a main DAO and there is like child DAOs. And the goal of child DAOs is to increase the value of the asset that is issued by the main DAO. That's a very simple idea, actually. There is some technical details that I won't go into because we don't have that much time. But in my opinion, this is like the next way in DAO governance. And I also have to mention, again, without going into details, that there is some mechanism to filter out bad decision makers here. So if you're like a bad decision maker, if you make bad decisions, if you vote for wrong things, you lose your voting power. And conversely, if you are a good decision maker, if you make good decisions, your voting power grows. And yeah, so like maybe let me just summarize what I was saying. So what I'm trying to present here is, I think, a new approach to collective decision making. I think direct democracy, where everybody can vote for all the decisions made in a given community, is something that is very promising in terms of making our societies better, you know. But we couldn't achieve it without blockchains. But now we can. And now it's time to implement it in some systems. And we are trying to implement this with PowerDAO. And one more thing, which I can't omit here, because currently we are experiencing the explosion of AI. It's like developing so fast that you just can't like avoid thinking about how it will change the world. And of course it will change the governance, and maybe someday AI will make all the decisions and we will just like enjoy the fruits of AI labor, you know. Probably that's not the worst scenario for humanity. But how can we implement this AI decision making in this protocol, and how can we combine AI, because AI will be making its own decisions, it's pretty clear, you know. And maybe in a couple of years we will have AGI, you know, generic artificial intelligence that can handle anything. You know, it's not just large language models, but it will handle everything. So this approach actually provides a kind of platform where human and AI intelligence can be combined into one thing. For example, how it can work in Power Protocol. Some of those child target-specific DAOs that I mentioned can be run by AI. For example, AI can just trade cryptocurrencies, make profits, and send the profits back to the main DAO treasury, receiving a power token in return. And power token is the main token of this ecosystem. This is the monetary asset which is issued by the main DAO. And through this, AI receives its own governance power. And it can participate in common governance together with humans. It sounds a bit futuristic, but I think it won't sound futuristic in a couple of years, because this is the reality that is approaching, and you just can't avoid it, you know, because it's coming. And it sounds like a science fiction, but not so much already, you know. Through this, we are creating a platform where we can combine human and artificial intelligence, and basically make artificial intelligence be aligned with human goals, you know, because we have some kind of hybrid between humans voting for something and AI voting for something. And, you know, so the voting happens on the same terms for AI and humans, which creates some kind of hybrid where there is some balance between AI and humans. This is something that we are going to implement as well. So basically, this is it. It's not some kind of like fancy vision which is not being executed. This is what we are trying to achieve. It's working already, so you can participate by becoming a member of this DAO. As I said, you can check it out at power.tech. So this is something that is already happening, and we are starting promoting it, and I think this is something which is pretty important in terms of making blockchains work for something else other than just value transfer and meme coins. Thank you very much.